Now to the guilty verdict handed down today that'll send a Montgomery County man to prison for the rest of his life. A jury convicted Gilbert Newton III on charges that he killed his ex-girlfriend last July. The 19-year-old stabbed 18-year-old Morgan McCaffery more than 30 times. Action News reporter George Solis live outside the courthouse in Norristown tonight. George, you've got reaction to that verdict today.
That's right, Brian. It was a very emotional day for the family of Morgan McCaffery. That jury came back with that verdict in under 3 hours. Gilbert Newton III remained stoic and silent after learning his fate for the murder of his ex-girlfriend, 18-year-old Morgan McCaffery.
We're grateful that we got the conviction. We're grateful that the men and women of this jury saw this case for what it was.
Wednesday, the 19-year-old was found guilty of first-degree murder and subsequently sentenced to a mandatory life in prison.
I'm feeling that the jury got it right.
According to prosecutors, McCaffery was stabbed by Newton more than 30 times at the Meadowbrook Train Station back in July 2020.
The evidence that we presented showed that when Gilbert Newton went to the train station that day to meet Morgan, his only intention was to kill her.
During the trial, the prosecution used text messages from Newton in the days leading up to McCaffery's murder as proof of his intentions to carry out the crime.
He said things like, "I want to stab you in the neck." He used exact numbers. "I want to stab you in the neck 57 times.
Newton's defense attorney, Charles Peruto, who had no comment after sentencing, conceded Newton was responsible for the teen's death, but argued he planned to kill himself and that his actions were not premeditated.
It may have, been a red herring that the jury had to work through, but I think in the end, ultimately, they realized that the evidence presented just showed that wasn't the case.
We want people to know what happened to Morgan.
Outside of the courtroom, McCaffery's family gathered for an emotional reunion and exchange of words.
We're grateful that this animal will never walk these streets again, and he'll never have an opportunity to do what he did to our Morgan ever again. But the fact is, it doesn't change the outcome for us. We will always have a void without Morgan.
And Brian, the family said they don't want Morgan's story to end here. They say they want to keep sharing it in the hopes of preventing any other family from suffering a similar tragedy. You're live in Norristown tonight. George Solis, Channel 6, Action News. Brian.
George, thank you.